birthday. That's my note. In June last year, we went to Greece, romantic Greece, hoping to get pregnant. And in Greece, we realized we were already pregnant. Too late, but it's all right. It's a good trip. So we've been trying for a while, for almost a year. So obviously we were afraid that something was wrong. So obviously when we found out that Hazel was pregnant, we were really happy. But what we didn't know that along with that joy would come a really time of testing, a time that really stretched our faith. It all began maybe at the end of the first trimester. Hazel woke up one night and discovered she was bleeding. So we went to the hospital. We called him Mini Cookie at that time. And Hazel was telling me that, she said, I think MC's not okay, because she could feel the bleeding was quite heavy. So we were prepared for the worst, and we prayed and said, God, your will be done, but we know you can do miracles. Yeah. And when the doctor scanned, we were expecting the worst, but what we saw was this guy moving, and the doctor said his heartbeat was steady. So that's miracle number one. After a few weeks, we thought everything was okay, smooth. In a routine scan, we found that the doctors told us a few things. They said, first thing, there was a gap in his brain, in his cerebellum. When I asked the doctor what it means, he said it would mean his fine motor skills would be affected, his balance would be affected, and doctor said he won't be smart. So I don't know what that meant, but I think he was trying to say that there would be some learning disabilities. That's one. Second, there was some, his heart, one of the valves was narrow, and his right ventricle was larger than the left, and his kidneys were swollen. So that was quite shattering for us. The doctors rushed around. I was wondering why they rushed around, and they were rushing around to give us the forms for a test, and so that we could decide whether we want to abort the baby or not. So obviously not. So yes, obviously we said no. We knew at that time that no matter what happens, we're going to raise him the best that we could and trust God to do the rest. And of course we were sad for that period of time, and one of the days Pastor Andrew on one of the Sundays prayed with us and had a word for us, and he said, this child is your gift, especially from God. So it doesn't matter what package he came in, it's for you. And so we took that, and that kind of touched us, and from then on we began to rejoice in what God had in store for us. During another scan, the gynae said he was a bit small. So said the best for him was to stay in the womb as long as possible, and so that was our prayer. His due date was Jan 24th of this year. On December 12th last year, he was born, 6 weeks early. Yeah, so that was not a good sign. Heart condition, brain condition, possible kidney condition, born early. It was quite scary for us, but thank God when he was born, he let out his first cry on his own. He was wheeled out without any tubes, and it was quite a miracle, and we were so thankful that everything was okay. And truly, God's hand was upon him. First scan showed that his brain was actually okay, that there was no gap in the brain, and praise God. And his heart condition, doctor said his heartbeat was normal. For the brain, we can only confirm one after an MRI, but we pushed that till next year because a bit too young. So after that, everything was okay, but he had some other issues. He was born with some eye problems, and that still remains an issue. He had hernia, he had an operation at 3 months, and thank God that turned out all right too. And again, during that time, God's hand was upon us, and his peace was upon us. It's been quite a journey, but we are thankful to God, for sure, and we are also thankful for the people around us, the Vine family, the people in our church back home, and all the prayers made all the difference in the world. We don't know what his future holds, but we really know who holds it, and we thank God for an awesome Wonderful.